Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to the session today on learning blockchain in 5 days, the 5-day challenge. Today is very special because in the next half an hour, we're going to create confidence in many people to be ready and become blockchain professionals, right? So how many of you are super excited and super committed to become blockchain professional? Type me in the chat box. Great. So basically people who are joining us on YouTube, LinkedIn, and any of our social media channels, you can see that the link to the Zoom session is there in the description, right? So you can click on the link and join the Zoom session to interact one-to-one, right? Okay, great. Amazing. Okay, so let's send in a reminder. Amazing. We are like, yeah, thank you so much, Prashant. Thank you so much, Vijay. Thank you, Sushant, for joining in. Great. Okay, so let me begin. So I'd request everyone to close their eyes. We'll do this exercise called the Ho'oponopono technique. This technique we use with all of our 1000 plus community members. This is a relaxation. This is a technique that will clear out all the negativity and self-doubt. It is a Hawaiian technique. Okay, so the technique is called the Ho'oponopono technique. I'd request everyone to close their eyes, put the hand on your heart, relax your breath, relax your forehead, relax your eyes, relax your cheeks, relax your shoulder, relax your back, relax your feet. So I request you to repeat these statements with me. This will have 4 statements, 4 high energy, high vibration statements. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. And these statements we'll be doing talking to our own self, right? So I'll be taking my name, Sachi, and you'll be taking your name. Okay. So I request you to repeat this out loud instead of just within the mind. Okay. We're going to talk to our own self, your energy, your spirit, right? Let's begin. I'm really sorry, dear Sachi. Here you'll be taking your name for not taking care of you. I'm so sorry for disconnecting with you. I'm so sorry for leaving you alone. Dear Sachi, I am the one who judges you so much. I am the one who criticizes you so much. Please forgive me for underestimating you. Forgive me for not believing in you. Thank you, dear Sachi. Here you'll take your name for letting me have this beautiful experience of life. Thank you so much. From now on, it doesn't matter who doesn't love you. It doesn't matter who doesn't appreciate you. Because I promise you, from now on, I love you. I am here and I would never let you go again. Relax your breath. Put your hands together. Rub your hands together and put that energy to your face. Okay. So how is everyone feeling? What is the result before and after this Ho'oponopono technique? Type one word which will tell what is that you're feeling. People who are joining us on our social channels, who are joined late, you can see the link to this session on Zoom. The link is there in the description. You can click there and join the Zoom session directly. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we have a lot of people on our social channels. Thank you so much, Vijay. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Sujit. Thank you, Sushmita. That's great. Okay. So people are typing in relaxing, calming, peaceful. That's really nice. Okay. So let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you're able to see my screen. Great. Okay. So if you're able to see my screen, let me know. Great. Okay. Let's begin. Okay, so this 5-day challenge is part of a bigger program, the blockchain bronze program by Pixeltest. We'll be talking about it in our sessions coming forward, but these particular sessions are absolutely a gift. So I'd request you to stay towards the end to understand more about the program, right? So what is blockchain and how did it start? To understand that, we'll understand a little about the evolution of currency. Okay, so why was there a need for blockchain? And in that, we'll understand the origin and the evolution of money and what triggered the creation of a decentralized system, the 2008 crisis, and how blockchain evolved. Okay, so basically the evolution of money, many might have known, it started out as a barter. Like, let's just say if I have a goat, and if somebody else has feed any agriculture related pulses or something, we would trade, right? If I have a goat and I have want to give something to Mr. Kamlesh sir or Anil sir, I would be doing an exchange with them. So barter is nothing but the exchange, right? So that is how it started. But that this was in 6000 BC, like so a lot of years, a lot of centuries back, right? But then what happened is people understood that you cannot always carry your goats or pulses along with you to give it, or maybe you not have it when somebody wants it, right? So it is logistically a lot of challenge to have and exchange these. And another thing is you cannot actually, for example, you need only a portion of pulses, but you cannot give a portion of your good. So that becomes a little challenge. Okay, so that was something, the barter was there, so it was not happening. Then people made gold as kingdoms, specifically kingdoms made gold coins, and the gold coins were used as a medium for doing an exchange, right? So here we'll understand a little more about these concepts as well. Now, gold had a specific value, how many golds you can get with gold, how much pulses you can get with the gold, right? So that was there. But even at that moment, carrying gold was a little risky, and even logistically, it was heavy and you cannot actually keep on carrying that. And because gold was so much in high value, you cannot always trade. Even the fractionalization, for example, you need a smaller portion of something, but you have a lot of a bigger coin of gold, so it becomes a challenge. So that is where metal coins came in, right? The metal coins were given, assigned a little value based upon the availability of that particular metal, and you were able to exchange, do trade, or do some currency related purchases using metal coins, right? But even that, so many metal coins, carrying that in bags and taking them somewhere is heavily challenging, right? For example, if you have to give if you have, let's just say, 1 unit of coin, and if you have to give 100 units, it is heavily challenging to give 100 coins, right? So that is where the paper currency came. But the challenge here got added. The challenge here is, now you can see in metal coins, the metal had some own value. Like, for example, gold might be enough in a few grams, metal could be in a few number of coins and all. There was some specific intrinsic value to that particular metal. But when it comes to paper currency, you would be trusting someone. Like, for example, I want to give something to Anil sir, I want to give something to Kamlesh sir, or if I want to give something to Manikandan, the challenge here would be I'll be giving a note saying ki I am giving this is worth 100 coins, right? So in exchange, whenever that paper is brought into me, he can get the 100 coins, right?
Українцям того села буде завжди мало, щоб у вас і у нас все завжди стояло. Треба їсти наше сало. Потому что в самолете все зависит.
Okay, I think some sort of mischief. Okay, I have disallowed people to screen share or chat or unmute themselves or start video, right? Really sorry for the the thing that happened. Do not worry. This is some sort of issue because we are having traffic coming from all places. People tend to do these things. I hope they find a little more intelligence and do some meaningful activities going forward. Okay, really sorry for that. I hope if you are still with me and understand such things happen in this online world, type me in the chat box. Right, so you can chat only directly to me. Great. Okay. Thank you for staying alone. Thank you for the patience. Thank you so much, Anil. Okay, let's do screen share. And if you find any such activity, please ignore that, right? So we'll ensure that the meet goes as per the schedule, right? Thank you so much. Okay, right? So we are at the paper money, right? So what happened in the paper money is, I would say I have 100 coins, and what will happen is, it's a promise that I'm making that you are going to get 100 coins. Okay, so now kings, when they started paper money, it was very much trusted. If somebody says you're going to get 100 coins, it was a certificate, it was a promise, right? You'd not get actually 100 coins, but you would get that paper. It is a sort of an agreement between you and me that you're going to get those many coins, right? So then that is where slowly government started understanding that you can the logistic issue can be solved by giving the paper money and assigning a value to it, right? So that is how paper money came into the existence, right? After the paper money, the fiat currencies, the electronic money came in, where we're able to do net banking, transfer, plastic money, the credit cards came in, right? Then came in the cryptocurrency, right? So that is how the evolution of money happened, right? So how many of you have understood the evolution of money? Type me in the chat box. Great, thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Anil. Thank you, Sushant. We have a lot of people joining us on our social channels. Thank you, Vijay. Thank you, Sham. Thank you, Prasad sir. That's great. Okay, so let's go forward and understand a little bit more about the currencies. Okay, so now then came the fiat currencies. There were a few challenges with the currency. The challenges with the fiat currency was that the asset backing that was there, like for example, a earlier countries would be making as much of fiat currency, which was that much they had gold. For example, I had so and so tons of gold. That equivalent value of currency was made so that it was an actual value of economic stability of that particular country. But slowly, what happened with currencies is the government started, the regulatory authority started printing more money than they had the gold reserves or any reserve. So what happened is you had equal amount of gold reserve, asset reserve, but you're printing more currency, meaning that if you say 10 rupee note was there, slowly the 10 rupee became, the value of 10 rupee was 9. So that is where the value of the currency started decreasing. Like, the economic conditions were being able to, tweaked by regulatory authorities by, printing as much money as they can, right? So those were there, and this was all being done by a central authority, right? So that was also that because of that they were able to control, right? You might have seen many governments have sometimes banned a particular type of currency at once and brought in some other currency. And a lot of times what happens is at certain moment the value of the currency falls. A lot of these things happen, right? So there's no asset backing. That was the challenge with this particular type of currency, right? So later digital fiat currency came in, where the same currency you were able to exchange online, but it was prone to cyber attacks or attacks, like people who would find a loophole. Like, for example, in our session, people found that they were able to screen share and they are going to exploit that particular loophole. And people do such things often. It is sometimes funny what kind of loopholes people try to use. But cyber attacks happened when the technology was in very early stage. Now there are a lot of cyber security measures have been taken, but we cannot say the net online transaction are 100% secure. Sometimes, many times, we get duped or the attacks. You can see the news keep coming in, right? So even in digital currency, the properties of fiat currencies are still there. It is centralized and it's prone to cyber attacks. Okay, so that happens. Now we would want to explain a few concepts here, like, for example, fungible, semi-fungible, and non-fungible, because this helps us in understanding the nature of the currency also, right? So fungible token or a fungible item is something that is same in value at both ends. Okay, so for example, if I have a 10 rupee note and you have a 10 rupee note, it is exchangeable. I can take your 10 rupee note and I can give mine because it is same in value. So that is fungibility. It is fungible, it is exchangeable, it's equal in value, right? So that is how this is there. Semi-fungible means, for example, we can exchange, but those are not equal in value, right? For example, we both are there in an event. You are, the first row has maybe a higher value and the last row might be lower, or vice versa. We both, the ticket will allow us access to the event, the product or the service, but the value of both of the tickets would differ. So that is semi-fungible. We can exchange our tickets, but the value would not be same, right? So that is semi-fungible. Non-fungible means you have currency, which is unique in nature. Like, basically you have some particular item, like if you have an art piece, and if I make an art piece, both cannot be of equal value, right? So we cannot exchange directly. We can assign some particular value, but both of them are unique in nature, right? So that is non-fungible, right? So how many of you understood the concept of fungible and non-fungible? Type me in the chat box. Yes, thank you so much. Your ID comes 25245521. You can rename or tell us your name. Thank you so much, Prashant. Thank you so much, Vidya. Thank you so much. Right. So that is how we understand tokens. Now, uh, if we go forward and try to understand what are some things that triggered the crisis, you'll know that this 2008 financial crisis. If people uh, do not know about the financial crisis, let me brief you. People who know, you can relate with this very nicely. Right. So what happened in 2008 in America is the authority, the regulatory authority which was there, uh, the Fed, right, the Federal Reserve, was actually going to uh, control the money. It was actually giving a lot of loans to people who are not eligible, right? So for example, here in India, something similar to Federal Reserve, we have RBI. What they do is like they give loans to the commercial banks, and they further give loans to the individuals or commercial corporates, the companies, right? So people who have a very good score are called the prime customers. People who do not have a very good score are called subprime customers. So people started giving out loans to people who were not able to afford uh, loans, who were not able to, in as a understanding that they will be able to have more flow of money in the economy, right? There are a lot of other reasons also, but within 2006 and 2007, the subprime customers increased from 1.5% to 18%, meaning people who cannot afford the loans increased by over 10%, right? 10 times, right? 10 times is like 10x. Now, what happened is eventually they'll not be able to pay that particular loan, and soon that bubble started bursting, right? So then suddenly the crisis came, and that because of that crisis, people had to go through a lot of turmoil, a lot of issues, right? So what Federal Reserve did here was they gave at a lesser interest rate to commercial banks. And what banks did is they bundled high risk assets, which people do not actually put their money into, with low risk assets, and even started selling the high risk assets, right? So this was the problem that was there. And before crisis, banks were actually given the loans at 3% interest rate from Fed, and banks Federal Reserve was giving it at 6%. Bank was adding a 3% from their end, and the customer was getting it 9% interest, right? So now banks started offering it to low risk customers initially, then slowly they started giving it to high risk customers also. And the challenge here was the people were not able to pay back the loans, and the money that was there in banks of people who were able to afford, who had their money in the banks, was now distributed to other people, and it was there was no actual value behind that particular currency in the banks. So that caused the financial crisis, and that caused a lot of havoc in the whole world, because most of these bonds that were created were even purchased by many other countries also. So this kind of had a domino effect, and everywhere the 2008 financial crisis effects were there. Okay, so now what was the challenge here was centralized control of currency. The single point of control was there, and that was the single point of failure also, right? Because the currency, the value of currency, how much you can give to whom, and how much flow of that currency is there in a country is controlled by a centralized system. That is the reason the issue was there. There was a need for a distributed or a more transparent system, right? So there was something called double spending happening. what was happening is even people were able to bring in counterfeit currency and able to say that you had more money, but eventually you're not able to back it up with real money. So that was also happening. People were spending at a higher capacity than what they can actually afford. So that was happening. So what this triggered is a lot of havoc in the system, and eventually there was a paper that was published in around 2008, and a decentralized currency system was needed. And this white paper, published on October 21st, 2008, was by an anonymous person or a group named Satoshi Nakamoto, right? So this particular group created this white paper, and they started implementing this from 3rd of Jan 2009. Okay, so the transactions could hold text values also. Let's just say the first time whenever the message was sent, the message said the Times 3rd Jan 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks, meaning the people, the banks who caused such an havoc in the economy were being bailed out. They were being brought out of the jails, even though there was a lot of error on their side, right? The central systems were being bailed out. So this is why people associate the origin of Bitcoin with the financial crisis, right? Because it immediately happened, and there was a mention of aggression in the first message itself, right? So that is how the Bitcoin came into existence. So now to note that Bitcoin and blockchain are not same, right? So now blockchain is the technology, or it is the platform over which a Bitcoin or a cryptocurrency can be developed, right? So though it was the first application of a blockchain, Bitcoin is not same as blockchain, right? So blockchain is something that can be used for many other systems where this decentralization is the primarily needed. Bitcoin is one of the applications, right? So if we are clear about why there was a need for a decentralized system, type U for understand in the chat box if you understood why there was a need for cryptocurrency and how the evolution of money happened and how the the issue got triggered, how the financial crisis got triggered. If you understood it clearly, type U in the chat box. Thank you, Prasad sir. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Anil. Yes, that's great. Okay, so now going forward, the origin of cryptocurrency. Now you can understand. Oh, thank you, Shank. Great. So now cryptocurrencies, what the benefit was here, whatever issues we were facing in in fiat currencies were being resolved. The thing was there were no intermediaries involved, right? There was no bank. If I wanted to send some money to Shashank or Manikandan or Anil or Manoj, anyone, I can directly make the transaction to your wallet, right? So what is a wallet? A wallet is something which you use to make an exchange, right? So for example, in my wallet, I have, let's just say 0.05 Bitcoin. I can give 0.001 to Manoj, 0.002 to Anil. So that's how you can do. And this happens from wallet to wallet without any intermediary required, right? So now everybody who's there on the system is a node. For example, we are on the blockchain. We're all on the environment. Everyone has a wallet. Means that we can do the transactions. We can send and receive money or hold money, right? So this is the major function of the wallet. It is like any other digital wallet as well, right? So here double spending was not possible. The reason being, whatever transaction happens on the Bitcoin, if I say I sent 0.002 to Mr. Anil, I cannot tomorrow say that I have sent 2 Bitcoin, because this transaction is transparent, and this is the value, the transaction is available for everybody on the blockchain, right? So I cannot tamper with the data. So that is where I cannot change or manipulate my own word or any other transaction that was made, right? So that is one of the nature of the cryptocurrency, right? So now this self-regulated system means, like, for example, if there's a traffic signal and if there's no person there, there's no traffic police there, and even people are, like, in cities, able to stop when there is a red light, go when there's a green light, you might have also done it because you know the protocol, right? The protocol guides the system. So that is how Bitcoin also has its own protocol, Bitcoin, through which the transactions happen, and the whole system is self-regulated. Okay, so now what happens after these are a few properties of the Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency. And there's a distributed ledger, meaning in banks, what happens is the bank has a central ledger, which is the list of all the financial transactions. This is only accessed by the central the bank where you are doing these transactions. But in blockchain or any cryptocurrency, the copy of the ledger is with everyone, right? So now everyone on the blockchain is called a node, and each node can access and know from where the transaction happened and to whom, right? So all that details are there. So this is like a central ledger, and it is append only, append only, meaning that you can only add data to the ledger. You can even just whatever transaction happened, you can just keep on adding it. So it is not mutable, it cannot be changed. So that is why it is called immutable distributed ledger, right? So this is called the distributed nature of the blockchain, right? So how many of you understood that blockchain is a distributed ledger, right? Blockchain is which is self-regulated by its own protocol, where no intermediary is involved. If you understood this, type U in the chat box. Yes, thank you so much, Manoj. Yeah, thank you so much, Awa. Thank you so much, Anil. Thank you so much, Manikandan. Great. Okay. So now that you have understood till here, what happened is you are not, there's no single point of failure because this is decentralized. Okay. So there's no single point of failure. What happens in a general nature is, give me a second. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so there's no single point of failure here because it is, the whole system is based distributed, right? So there's no one single central authority. So that's how this works, right? And the participants or nodes can transact, or you can be on a node silently, you can just observe, and you can mine also. What does mine mean? So mining in blockchain or Bitcoin means that you're going to process the transactions. Basically, the computational power of your system is used to verify and process a few of the transactions. So that is called mining. So if someone asks you what is mining, it is the process of verification and the way to process the transaction happening on the blockchain, right? So you can even do that, because now who facilitates the blockchain, what is the ecosystem, is the nodes themselves, right? So that is how it works. Great. So now a few other properties of Bitcoin are, you can see that these are cryptographic key-based ownership, meaning if you have your own Bitcoins in your wallet, you'll be able to unlock it only based upon your private key, right? So this key is how you can access your own funds. Okay, the ownership of the funds is proven by your own digital signature, right? So we'll learn about the cryptographic key-based ownership also going forward, but you can make an assessment that if you lose the key that unlocks your wallet, what happens is you'll lose access to your cryptocurrency, and there's no way to do forgot password. So this is very important that you have your private key secure, and Bitcoin has its own encryption system, right? So Bitcoin works with a few systems which is the encryption of those smaller modules enable the encryption on a higher level, on the whole level. So what is encryption? For example, I want to send a message to Shashank. What happens is I can send it in a encrypted format. Only I tell Shashank how can he decrypt it, so he can decrypt it and understand the message, right? So Bitcoin has the property of security because of this encryption. So the encryption is the the crypto key is helping in the encryption, and that is why it is called the cryptography. That is the study of this encryption, right? So the ownership is based upon cryptography. The key is very important, and the transactions are irrefutable, which is nothing but the immutable nature of it, meaning if you have made a transaction, you will not be able to edit that particular transaction, right? Transaction could be even a text that you have put on the blockchain, right? So these are not changeable, and it is if you change it also, everybody will be able to see that the transaction has been manipulated with, and hence the update gets rejected. So it is a very transparent system. Okay, so that these are a few properties of Bitcoin. Great. So thank you so much. That calls in for the end of today's session. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. So how many of you understood the properties of Bitcoin? Right? Type me in the chat box. So Manoj, the irrefutable means the transactions cannot be undone or cannot be manipulated with, right? So that is the that is what we mean by transactions being irrefutable. Okay, thank you so much, Manikandan. Okay, so the whole session, 5-day program, is part of a bigger program, which is the blockchain bronze, which we will be talking on our 5th day, which is what we call the graduation day. So on the graduation day, we'll be giving certificates for people who have been here all throughout for all of the 5 days, and also help you understand more about the industry, the blockchain, and how you can upskill yourself into the industry, and how you can launch into this particular industry also, right? So, but as the sessions are absolutely free. This is a gift from Pixeltests. But only thing that I would ask is, I would come 100% committed every day for the next 5 days. I'd require the same kind of commitment from all of you here. If you are able to put the same kind of commitment and sincerity that you showed today and come for all of the 5 days, I'm sure that it is a way to go forward. Thank you so much, Anil. Yeah, so can you commit to being here for the next 5 days? type me in the chat box. Thank you so much, Manoj sir. Thank you, Anil sir. So that all the updates are shared on the group itself, even for tomorrow also. And the updates will be shared on the group, and we will also be sharing a link to day 1 session. And in that link itself, you can see a quiz. I request you to go through the quiz and take the quiz and submit it. Okay. So thank you so much for being here. It was such a good experience for all of us, right? Go ahead and do the quiz on your group. People who are watching us on YouTube, I would request everyone to join the WhatsApp group that we have, right? So the group will have all the updates, and in that you will have more updates for the rest of the session. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. We will be closing with our whole open technique. If anybody has any question, you can ask us, right? So if this was the first time you experienced, you come across blockchain, so you can share your result also. You can let us know how was what was your understanding before and after the session, right? I request anyone to go ahead and unmute. Raise your hand. I'll unmute you. You can share your experience. Manoj or Anil, you'd want to let us know which city you're from? Yeah, so you can go ahead and unmute. Anil sir says Hubli. So, Anil sir, would you be willing to unmute yourself? I would want to understand your background.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anil sir. Right, which city? You said you are from Hubli, and what is your current background, sir?
Sir, MBA.
You're doing MBA or you finished MBA?
Yeah, sir, MBA final year.
MBA final year. So now you're trying to launch into IT sector or blockchain industry.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Great. So how was the experience? How was the result of this particular session? What 30
Sir,
minutes?
it was good, sir.
Okay. So any key takeaways that you can let us know? What is that is something that you learned? Yeah, so I think there's an issue with the mic. Okay, so Anil sir says he has learned about blockchain, and he was able to understand a lot about the initial basics of blockchain. Thank you so much, Anil sir. More power to you. Best wishes for you, because you made the first step to be here, and you unmuted and interacted with us. Thank you so much. Right. Okay. More power to you. Great. And to other people, I request you to take the assignment that we'll be putting on the group. You can see that the link to the assignment is there on the description also if you're watching us on YouTube live. Okay, thank you so much, Anil. Right. So we'll be closing with our whole open technique for 5 minutes, and we'll call it a session. Great. I request you to close your eyes. Put your hand on your heart. I request you to say this out loud instead of within yourself. Okay. So this is the career open. Let's begin. I'm really sorry, dear career, for not taking care of you. I'm really sorry, dear career, for not taking care of you. Please forgive me, my dear career, for putting so much stress on you. Please forgive me, dear career, for not giving you enough time and practice. Thank you, dear career. In spite of all the situations, you've taken care of me and fulfilled all your duties. Thank you so much. Dear career, I know that I have not told you many times. I love you in your current situation and in any situation. A deep breath Rub your hands together. Put that energy to your face. Amazing. So you can just put one word about how this whole open flow technique made you feel in the chat box. Great. Peaceful, calm, relaxed. Thank you so much, everyone. So we'll see you tomorrow, same time. Thank you so much, Vijay. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Manoj.